so we can look at the first 10 years, and then I've decided to look at the growth in the various areas of SAISI, and then look at our international, and then this beautiful easy trips that we've had from the SCISIT years to the easy years. And you will see the easy is actually easier. It's true to its name. So we actually, March Contra started in 1979. So, and she invited Pat Warburger. You all know Pat Warburger. She said to me one day, "RayAnne, you're quite difficult." I said, "No, you're worse than me." Because she's also very straight with what she says. Okay. And then the first theory course was actually presented in South Africa at that stage. And in 1981, that is why we're 42 years old, SAISI was formed. So we actually, in a way, I still think quite young. And if you look at what we've done in those 40 years, I'm flipping proud of SAISI. And it's not one person, it's SAISI. And the first 10 years are spent getting the training process in place. Oh, by the way, I must say thank you to Anne-Marie for all the slides. We work together as a team. Okay. And then the whole thing was to have the annual courses, which is still one of the major things that we have to try and pull through with SAISI. And that's when they had the SCISIT tests. And then there was still the yearly board meeting. So there's certain things that haven't changed. They've just grown exponentially, I think. And RayAnne can look at it and agree with us. And then we've had the AGM workshops the day prior to the board meeting. And I'm so excited we started again. I know we were hoping for more numbers, but I think COVID has changed things. And with time, we'll realize again that we actually need to, hello, Sissy. I'm going to say it to Marlies. What are you doing, Baba? You see, we're a family. Is that basically it's when we are here to support one another. That's our role. Being an OT is hard enough. Supporting the parents is hard enough. We need to be there as a team, and you can do it face to face. Sorry, online people, I do miss you. And I know you're all far, but face to face is nice also. And then the first introductory course in SA for adult psychiatry was in 1986. And I love that way, Tarina. It's all coming back and we're going back into psych again. We need to push that, really. And Es passed away in 1988. And the whole easy thing was about her turning 100 years old, if she'd been still being alive. And I think if it wasn't for Jean Es, what she's passed on, and what her ladies have passed on to us, that passion is actually what drives us. So one thing that drives SAISI is pure passion. It's like a bulldozer. So this was to me the interesting one. If you go and look at the old newsletters, now you're going to see how times have changed. So in the old, originally, when you were lucky, you could print on blue paper. That was it. They're black and blue. And they even used staplers on the side. Then they got very clever and they learned to staple in the middle. You see? Yeah. And then we had a bit of a problem. Because we were having, I think, the blinds, and they became smaller. That's the joke about the board meetings. And then we got very clever. Then we were allowed to have, I think it was 3 colors, eh? Because printing in 3 colors wasn't too expensive. Okay. So then we had 3 colors, and that's when the new logo came. You notice the square to become a circle? Okay. And there was a competition. Someone won the newsletter is the meaning of that logo. I know it was still Beryl Smith then. They were part of it. And then, I tell you, then money came in, or then color came in. And then we did have all these colorful newsletters. Okay? Oh, and then it went online, which I think financially is a good thing. And I just like my paper. And I gave all my newspaper, I had the whole lot. And when we retired, now I had to say who wants them. So Gina got them and Yumna got some. Yumna came to steal some before you could get them, Gina. But it just shows you how we've grown over the years. And I think the newsletter has still become one of our top things that we have. Because it's things that are not too, I think it bridges that gap between the big research and what you need and the therapy. I think it's a lovely bridge. Then we got clever, we had some more publications. So then we started, we had our springbokkie in the beginning. Okay. In the begin, Anne-Marie, onthou hierdie springbokkie. Okay. So the Clin Ops started with the springbokkie. Then in 2005, we went with the square one again, because then it got updated, the Clin Ops. And then we decided to give the round one. And then in 25, we did the gross motor one. So in 2005 or 2003, I forget my dates. No, 2003, the Gross Motor booklet came out. And that was the team that actually did it, the Cape Town team. It's always the Cape Town people, hey? But Clinton was going somewhere else now. I'm looking at the people. And then we got very clever. We had an organogram for this SAISI board because we got so busy. Yeah, one day this one, you try and make, that looks like the interpretation worksheet, you know, when the spider webs. And then we got Marie, who put us into our 3 legs. Hey! Marie has this ability to stand back and put order into chaos. And it's a gift. We've got to work together with our gifts. So now the organogram looks more ordered. You still have these little outlanders always, because that's life. So then we came to workshops. And workshops used to be face to face, you know. You all go together, you have a workshop together, and then COVID came. And then we very quickly learned to do the online stuff. And I think it's been amazing because the people from far can actually still get in and get the information. So there is a role to it. And now we've gone back to having the AGMs with little AGM and little face-to-face get-togethers. So go to those regional face-to-faces because you need to, as I said, look after one another. No one else is going to go after us. And then we turned 40. Hey, actually 42 now. And that other little picture, I think that was the ISIC conference. But with all these beanbags came. And you can see the only one that I'll never get is course coordinator. But if you can do it, I can do it. Okay. I'll still coordinate. I'll coordinate in plate. Okay. So with our 40th. But then if we look at some international things. So in 1996 was in a way a thing when SAISI decided, let's do some international things. And there was that first SINDT Congress in Cape Town. And that's actually where we met Pat Warburg at 7 o'clock in the morning again. Remember showing us the Russian protocol. I remember that also. And that was in Cape Town. And then the second one, again, obviously in Cape Town, it was in touch with the SI Worldwide and the African Skies. So we actually started this international thing long ago already. And at that one, that's when we launched the gross motor items. And there's an international standard for the courses. And Gina is on ASI for us. Okay, so that's their new logo. So it's nice to know that there's a whole international group working together to keep common standards of minimum standards for our courses. And we adhere to those ASI principles also. And then if it wasn't for Anne-Marie, for our international liaison, I know she's saying goodbye to being an international liaison, and Gina is saying, that's mine now. Gina's very excited about it also. But I think, Anne-Marie, you've done so much, and it started, one of the biggest things, it started with your research of SIPT. Well, no, ek emosioneel Anne-Marie, with donkey. Okay. But if it is what Anne-Marie did, and with her research with Zoe and Dave, they had a whole collaboration on the use of the SIPT with children in South Africa. And I think the standard of that research really put us very high up there. And I think maybe the Hong Kong one really showed to me how much respect the international people have for you. And I sometimes they're a bit casual and you say, come on now, don't be so casual. Because we take things seriously. But really, Anne-Marie, we want to honor you for doing that international part for us. Gina, you've got big footsteps to step into, my darling. But you can do it. And then she was invited to present at R2K, which was in LA in 2006. And since then, she's done many more. And the one exciting thing is, I think it's one of the courses, yes, is Anne said to me, RayAnne, you need to come to LA because Anne-Marie's going to get this award. So I couldn't tell her that was why I'm coming to LA. And it was so nice. And Marius was also there. And that's where she received that Sonia Martins Lopez International Award. And that to me is such an honor for South Africa. Okay. And it's for outstanding individual outside USA. And it was so lucky to be so proud, eh? I was so proud of you. And I think SAISI is so proud of that, for that, just being acknowledged for what you were doing that early on already. And even in her retirement, she's still doing PhDs and masters and helping the research. Okay. And then so the R2K moved on towards
some ways the ISIC. And SAISI then started sponsoring delegates to go. So ISIC in Finland was the one where in a bar, they decided to do a test, the 100 articles in ASI in 100 countries. It's amazing what SAISI does in the bar, okay? Or their wine. Okay. And then they moved to Birmingham. How many more minutes? Okay. So then from Finland, we had the Birmingham one, which had a very nice, you can see all the delegates of Birmingham there, the bigger crowd at the bottom. And then Vienna. And that is where they decided that we'll have the International Congress. And South Africa actually got the first International Congress. And RayAnne was our chair in that one. So that's RayAnne getting the cup, ready to go for ISIC in South Africa. So we had our one in South Africa, the first one. And then they had Hong Kong, which was lovely. Then the USA, which most of us couldn't get visas to go on. And then coming up with Brazil. But you don't want to go, the flights are expensive. And then another person I've always think is even with psychiatry. Viv Arles was instrumental in getting SAISI involved in SACAPAP. So at the moment we actually work with SACAPAP. So if you're a member of SAISI, you actually get a discount at the SACAPAP conferences. So that's how close we are with working. And they invited Suzanne Smith to speak at SACAPAP. And at the moment we keep a SAISI member on SACAPAP, on their committees. And we also make sure that when they have their conferences, we have speakers there. And we do workshops the day before, basically promoting ASI and OT within psychiatry. And what's exciting now is they are having, SAISI is also part of the scientific committee. So then we can look at the conference things and make sure that we get SI and OT into the conferences. And then the workshop we're involved in. And then they've also now started, which you can attend for nothing, even if you're not a member, is they do case studies. And it's about the team collaborating. What's the OT's role? And Elise and Gina are going to help on the next one because I can't be there. It's a case about ASD and I think it's ASD and PDA. Yeah. So I think the big thing is we're staying in there, and we've also got a SAISI award that we give at the conference. So it's this whole collaboration with working people working in mental health also. So that's for child and adolescents though. Okay, so then we had this smooth, easy ride. And this was your picture. This is the picture from the SCISA to the SIP. Well, it's still the picture from the SCISA to the SIP to the easy. It hasn't changed. Okay, so how did things change? In the SCISA, you had to draw this little bar graph. I couldn't find a color-coded one. All my stuff is in storage. But you had to draw your own bar graph and color code those little circle keys. Okay. Then we got to the bar graph of the SCISA. And then you got the easy bar graph, which is even color coded for us already. Okay. And with the SIP and the SCISA, you had to hand score. In the SCISA, you used to look it up in the book. In the SIP, originally it got sent back to you, WPS. You waited for it to come back. And then you got your results, which is like a month or whatever. And then the stiffies came along. Then there's little stiffy things. And then the USB. Okay. Then the easy came along. And we have the ESP, which is like electronic. And you can score as many as you want, and you pay a yearly fee compared to the other lot where you paid per test. So what else came in these courses? Originally, you used to write your notes down. There in Wits University, or wherever you could find a place. Write your notes. Then they could type. Oh, then computers came. I found the type notes also. Then we used to put things in files, with in between things, beautiful files. And then we started actually putting them in little ring binding things. And now you even have e-learning access for your notes. So to think how we've moved along in the years. And the lectures was on the blackboard sometimes. Then the overhead projector came in. And there's still the drawing one, that's from Stella. You used to draw your little pictures on the overhead in your notes, your whole presentation. And then we learned to print them on the computer in black and white, not color yet, okay? On these transparencies. And then the computer came along. And then PowerPoint came along. Interpretation sheet. There have been so many variations of interpretation sheets over the years. We adapt them as we go along, but you had to draw them. And now they put them, and then you do them on transparency. And then that Mimeo thing came in. And now we just do it on Excel, which I still can't do. And then the meals. You brought your own meals. Oh, I think it was the fourth day. You got soup and bread from SAISI. They sponsored soup and bread. Yeah, yeah, nice. And then we decided let's be nice with sandwiches. And then the competition came in. which province can do better sandwiches? And then we came to conference centers. So we might go back to the soup. You never know. So then the SCISIT, we had C1 to C4. It wasn't SASIC 1 to SASIC 4, to C1 to C4. You did observation where you had to go to a SAISI member who checked you, and they were strict. Hulle was kwaai jong. Okay. You did 10 typical children. You had 2 atypicals. You wrote 2 protocols, one which had to be a VBI, and one which had to be a somatic dyspraxia. And you had to have enough tactile scores that were low. So can you imagine, you tested about 10 children before you wrote this protocol? And then you hand wrote them. Yeah, and then computers came in. I remember I used to go with my stuffy to my cousin because she had a computer and we would type on her computer. Yeah, and then you posted them. And then what happened? The post office used to strike in Feb when it was protocol hand-in date. That was not funny. And now what do? Whoops, onto e-learning. So easy. And you have to make another copy in case that other one got lost. Yeah. So ask all the SCISIT and the SIP people in the early days. They have that original protocol still that they typed or hand wrote. Yeah, then the SCISIT came to the SIP. Okay. And it was investigated originally. I remember Barbara and Zila coming back and saying, it's too costly, and the time realities, because you had to send it back to WPS, was too much. Then the SIP era brought in overseas lecturers, because then we brought the SIP in here for quality control. And this is one of the big starts of international collaboration. And I must say, I do remember Zelia playing, not Zelia, Zoe and Suzanne and Sue Triton playing big roles in this one. Okay. So the negotiations started in 2006. And you guys, you must also say thank you to Anne-Marie with her negotiations with WPS and USP. We got the SIP at one hell of a discount. And Anne-Marie knows how to negotiate. She might be so still when SAISI has all the meetings. Guess you can make the most money when we play the games. Anne-Marie, yeah, watch out. Okay. And then with the SCISIT, this picture was drawing of trying to pack your SCISIT into a box. And there's still our paying for the courses that we had. So the first conversion was 60 people with Zoe doing in South Africa. And she was the instructor for us there. And over the next few years, we carried on doing our courses and calling in international lecturers. So Zoe did the first one, and that's the loading off of all the boxes. And so we worked out, and we got it cheaper. So we bought them in boxes and repacked them here instead of buying the suitcase, which was more expensive. We always know how to cut back on costs. And then we carried on having them. So I know we had 2007 Sue Troutman came to do SASIC 2 and 3, and still sitting there working on our new interpretation worksheet with Sue. Okay, and then in 2011, we had a few more steps. So we went from SASIC 1 to SASIC 4, all our courses. Stephanie Bodison did the C4 also in Bloemfontein. And she could understand why our kids had less problems. She said, look at these dirt roads. The gravel shaking. And she said, look at your slides, they're so high. Okay. So I know Shirley Lane also did SASIC 1. So we carried on. So the SIP was a little bit easier. 5 typicals, 1 atypical, 1 protocol, which then moved from hand posted to electronic. And then 2015, we said, let's just add something. Let's do the FM also. So we did add something. And then when it came to the easy, so Anne-Marie was the lead for South Africa data collection, and Anneke was for the lead for Africa. And I think internationally, they were so impressed with our data collection and how quickly we did our things. So then once again, South Africa's name came up there again. So one of them, and this was a quick decision to bring in the easy. And one of the main one was the cost of the SIP scoring. And we know that not all our members were using the SIP. So they were relying on other tests to do SI assessment. And we said, we've got to look at South Africa. We've got to do what South Africa needs. Plus it has the international normative data, inclusive of first and third world countries. And then with the easy, those who did the INDC, you had to do all on the red cap. Now the ESP. The ESP has the latest forms on it. Alles, jong. You're up to date the whole time. I'll get there. Okay. So then we had a webinar to explain this one. And this became difficult. We had to explain that the low cost fits our people. And then we had to work at how do we make it possible for our members to do these courses at the lowest possible fees and fit in where they are. And we do have one of our SCIS, Sarah is one of our SCIS easy trained people. So we have to fit in the SCIS people how they fit in. Then we have to fit the SIP people in where they are in their training. Okay. And I promise you it's a nightmare. If you think there can be 50 variables with OTs, yeah, another variable came the other day again. Now you got to see now where do they fit in. And although everyone must fit in with me because of my needs. Yeah, it is be adaptable. So everyone must be adaptable to me also. Yeah. So that's been a nightmare, but we've managed it. We got through that greater. So we did our easy conversion in 2022 and 23. And then the easy SAISI courses also started. And for you, I think most of you know now that SAISI 2 is M2 and M3. And we do it in collaboration with Classy. So that's why we've got to fit in with what they also say. We can't make up decisions. We have to work in collaboration. And they are amazing to collaborate with. So it's good. Okay. But as I said, I did not know you can have so many scenarios to fit in with each person. But we'll get there. We're getting there. The greater hasn't killed us yet. So with the easy, I think all you have to do is a task which is like a peer review, easy, 2 typicals, 1 atypical, 1 protocol, and an FM. It's way less. Still easy. Okay. And there's the ESP platform. And what's so exciting is your latest test sheets will always be on there. So you will stay up to date with what is the latest because it'll always be on the ESP platform. Okay. So you won't be forgotten. Okay. So just for those of you, for people to know now, who want to know to go over to the easy, is that we still do SAISI 1. SAISI 2 is M2 and M3. And for the following year, if you are qualified, you only have to do it online for 2024. We'll still do online. And then we're going to go most probably to face-to-face. Okay, so bank on the online for next year. Don't bank on for any more years, okay? And then SAISI 3 is the course, and then the 1.5, the online if you're converting. Okay, and then SAISI 4 we know, and then FM we know. Okay, so that is where we are. And I made it on time. Are there any questions?